Okay, what's the amplitude? 2. So it's B. I wasn't recording. We're starting over, Cardarius. It's not going to kill you. What is the amplitude? 2. So it's B. What is the period?
Pi.
It's 2 pi divided by 2, which is pi, and it's A. 4 is 2 pi divided by 2. Again, it's A. Okay, what is the period of the graph? Because it's 2 pi divided by 4, so it's pi over 2, so it's B. What is the range?
Oh, it's cosine. It's always A. It's A. Cosine and sine are always -1 to 1.
Okay, so if it's -1 to 1, what's the amplitude?
Oh, it's B. 2. It's B because you multiply it by the amplitude. Yeah.
So the original function is -1 to 1. Because of the 2, I multiply -1 times 2 and 1 times 2, so you get -2 to 2. So it's B.
Okay, is it the same way for tangent? Or there is a
tangent? It's like there's no infinity to infinity, right? Negative infinity to infinity.
There's no range for tangent.
I wish we could do something.
Is it ever going to ask for domain?
It was too many to print out. What is the maximum value?
3.
Maximum value is 3.
Because the maximum value of sine is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So the answer is C.
Would it be the same if it was close?
I think I can put it up on Schoology.
You have to multiply it by the maximum range, right?
That's what it asks for.
Ms. Archer?
What?
Would it be the same if it was close?
Why is this going the wrong way? I'm clicking the back arrow. All right. So listen, here were the questions. So the maximum value, what's the maximum value of sine? 1. And then I multiply by 3
Oh, you multiply times the amplitude.
Would it be the same?
times the amplitude. Okay? Okay. Okay, is this sine or cosine? They're all sine. Okay? So then the next thing, I know it's sine because it starts at 0. And then, where is the sine supposed to go? Up, right? But where does this one go? So that tells me I have to have a negative, right? Is it at 1? It's at 2. So it has to be C. C. Right. Okay, also, what is the period of a sine function? 2 pi. So how many periods do you see here? 1. This is the 1. How many periods do you see in that graph? No, sir. 1. A down and up make it 1. All right? So this is why I'm telling you this, because when you're looking at this, you're going to be able to tell on some of the answers by looking at this. I get 1 complete period at 2 pi. That means the number in front of x has to be what? It has to be 1, right? Because it's 2 pi. So that's why it couldn't be 2. Because if it was one of those, my period would be at pi. Right. Okay. So which one is this? So why can it not be B? It starts at -1, so which graph is that? It's a cosine. Why is it not C? Because it goes up. and that's a regular sign, and the negative makes it go down. Okay? Girls. Listen, if you guys don't want to do it, I can shut it off and we can be done.
It's either A or B.
Oh no, it's A. It's A. It's A. It's A. Oh no. Yeah, it's A. I don't know the difference. It's A.
Okay. So listen, on this graph, how much of a period are you seeing? It's not 1, because if it was 1, it would have to end up at 1 over here. I know. What the heck?
Can we take a break?
No, we're not taking a break. So look, this goes to 2 pi, and it's only showing you half of the graph. So it's half of the cosine, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. If this shows half of it, then you have to have the 1/2 here, because it's 2 pi divided by a half, so the whole entire one would be 4 pi, and you only have half of it here. So the trick is, if you only see half, this has to be half. If you see more than 1 period, then you have to use the 2. Does that make sense? Okay, for those of you not paying attention, it won't matter. So, okay, next.
That has to be sine, and it has to be 2.
It's B.
No, because it goes into 2. So it's not B.
Because it's a full 1. It's
No,
just
but
spread out.
no, the equal 2 goes to 2.
Oh.
Dang.
It is A, man.
So it's A.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, it's
It's C. It's C.
Okay,
no idea.
so, all right, so we can eliminate B and D, right? So now even if you know nothing, you got a 50-50 shot, okay? So then here's the question. So it says a half, and this one is 2. So when you're looking at your period, the period of sine is 2 pi, and if I divide it by 2, it's pi. But do I get a whole entire graph in pi?
Yes.
How much negative? So 2 pi and 2 pi is 4 pi. This is 1 period. 1 period is 4 pi. So 2 pi divided by a half makes 4 pi. It is C. Okay, so listen, you guys, this is what the test looks like. And if you don't get it, you better pay attention and you better ask some questions, because this is not magically coming to you with fairy dust tonight. All right? I mean, this is, all right. Okay, let's try another one. I know somebody asked, I'm going to upload the video, and I'll see if I can upload this. You can practice.
This one's A.
Okay.
Half again, I think. Oh, it's A.
It's A. It has to be.
No,
It's
it's
a
A.
2.
It is A.
It says it's a 2 and it flips.
Cassell does not trigger, bro.
Hold on, let me just look at it. Chill.
Okay, I'll give you the 50-50. It flips over the X, right?
Yes.
So it has to be A or B. And it goes to 2, so the
I
answer
just
has
look
to
at
be
it,
A.
bro?
I'm trying to help you out. 5 minutes?
It is.
It's not hard.
I knew it. I just wanted to look at it, okay?
Okay, so right away, we can eliminate C and D because they're upside down. So then the next thing is, without even figuring out the period, you don't even have to figure the period on this one. The top one goes to -2, the bottom one goes to -1/2. Where does this graph go? -2. So it's not going to be easy when I'm not talking you through it. That's what I'm saying. I know.
This right here is infinity.
So it's cosine, right?
Oh, they're all close.
I mean, they're all cosine.
All right. So next, eliminate because it goes to 2. So B and D are out.
It's a full one.
I say it's C, man.
It's a full period. Well, no, it's not.
I say it's C.
Where does it have to end if it's a full period?
4.
It has to end at 2. Does this end at 2?
No.
But the
It
arrows are
continues to
tripping me
go.
out.
This is a half of a period, so it has to be C.
Yeah,
But the arrows trip me out.
Give me a test right
What are the
now.
arrows?
infinity. They keep going.
What do you mean the arrows are tripping you out? It's a graph. They all have arrows on the end of them.
Oh, they're trying to make it good. It's okay.
I guess I'm not just. Yeah, I just never see it.
Every graph you've ever drawn in your whole life doesn't have arrows on the end?
No, like we haven't done
Because
any
some of them
examples.
end, like some of them stop before it.
Yeah,
Like that.
like that. See, there's
Okay,
no arrows.
now, because it's a specific one, right? It stops at a point.
It's not A or C
Okay, so first of all, why is it not A and C?
because it goes in a half.
It goes to a half. So I know it has to be B or D. How many periods do you see here? 2, so it has to be D.
Bro, I'm gonna forget stuff tomorrow.
Oh, I know this one.
Wait, Miss, can you go back to me?
It's 3.
It's C.
So it has to be.
No, it's A. It's A. It's
It's
A.
A. It's two complete.
It's A.
Y'all explain. I was testing y'all.
2 complete periods. So which one is it? It has to be A. So what's the difference between A and B? Okay, so if you're not careful, you're going to pick wrong, right? And then I can't give any partial credit, so you have to be careful.
What if I show my work?
I'm still not giving you any.
Question. Easy. Just redo the form.
Which equation represents a graph that has a period 4 pi? It'll be C.
No.
Which?
Oh, it's A. My bad.
A, because you
Because
multiply
1 half
it times
times
2.
2 pi.
Yeah, so to get them.
It has to be A. It is A, right? What would the period be if it was C?
8.
8 pi, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So on that one you just multiply?
Mhm.
Because it's 1/2.
Oh,
X
I don't know
minus
these
pi.
tangents.
Okay, so it's 10, right?
It's gonna be B.
hold up. Okay, it's not C.
No, it's D. It's either B or D.
It's D. It's D.
It's not A or C because that's too much. It's D.
Okay. Stop hating on the tangent. You guys be nice to tangent. All right. So,
Because it's negative pi over 2, so it's moving right.
correct. So, what is moving the negative pi over 2? What is at negative pi over 2?
Oh, it's A. Never mind.
Shh. What is at negative pi over 2?
The asymptote.
The asymptote. So, what is the minus pi over 2? Which way does that move? To the right, because our x's lie. So, negative pi over 2 becomes 0. So the asymptote has to be at 0. There's only one of these that has an asymptote at 0. D.
I was right.
There's a point here, a point here, a point here. The only one without is D.
When is it when you add all those lines?
What?
When is it when you add all those lines?
They're just the asymptotes. Okay. So on tangent, the best thing to do is look at the asymptote and see which way it shifts back and forth. And then pick your graph based on the asymptote. That's the best one.
I thought it had to go to like. Never mind.
What about this one?
Okay.
Oh, that was easy. I only give you,
Okay, now that one is like a C because it's so
wait.
It's B.
It's
So
not B.
what is the 1/2 do? Shh. What does the 1/2 do?
Makes it big, smaller, bigger.
Multiply what? So if I'm finding the period of tangent starts as pi. if I divide by half, my new period is 2 pi. So from asymptote to asymptote has to be 2 pi. A minus pi over 2 to pi over 2, this is 90 and 90 is 180.
It was C. I told y'all. Hold on, man.
It's not C.
It is C.
There's so many azimuths.
Okay, so this is minus pi over 2. This is minus pi to positive pi. That's 2 pi. How many periods do I have? 3. That's not it.
It is B.
So what is it?
It's B.
She tripping. She's like, oh,
Is it this one?
No.
Yes.
Is it?
Negative pi to pi. 2 pi. This is 1 period. It has to be that one.
Freaking knew it. See this? People are laughing at me.
So wait, what was that?
it's B.
So look, why can it not be D? That's 2 periods. 1 period in 2 pi. 1. Yes? Okay, so we're doing cosine. And so if I'm doing cosine, where's cosine supposed to start? 1. But when I multiply by minus 2, it's going to flip it to negative 2. So it has to be upside down, right? And then, all right, so it all looks the same, right? So listen, this is how, so I hate these. Like these, to me, they all look the same. So this is what I'm asking myself. I know the point has to start at negative 2. So down here, my negative 2, what does the minus pi over 2 tell me? Which way does it move? So did this move to the right? Not that one. Did this one move to the right? It didn't. It's right on 0 still, so it's not that one. Did this move to the right? It did. All right? So this one didn't move far enough, right? But this one moved pi over 2. So that is your answer, D.
Miss, do you think we have enough time to finish this?
Oh, you got plenty. Okay, what about this one?
Negative 2.
Okay, so let's get it.
Let's get it.
It has to start at 1,
Flip.
and it has to flip, so it's not C.
So it's negative 2.
Yeah.
Miss,
Negative 2 and then you add, no, minus 1, so it's negative 3.
You gotta go to the right.
Add 1, so it's negative 1.
it's B.
So it's C or
Wait.
It's B. It has to be B.
C or B.
Okay, so the question is, it's either B or C. That's correct. But how do you choose between those two?
It has to be a full.
Because of the 1.
It is
So,
B.
so listen. Is there a phase shift here? No, there's no phase shift. So my very first point has to be on the axis. So this one is at negative 1, it's on the axis. This one shifted, it's not on the axis, it can't be that one.
It only shifts when it has parentheses.
Only shifts when it has parentheses.
I'm gonna get 100 now.
So what does the 1 do?
It should moved it up.
They're not all multiple choice though. Why are you doing it?
How are we supposed to know that?
She said 20 multiple choice.
20 out of what?
20 multiple choice and 10 are fill-in.
Yeah.
The graph for the function y equals 2
So
That's just
Oh, I would have to write this down.
It's C.
Like,
Yeah, that's a right draw it out.
give me a second.
too
Just don't.
close.
Okay,
So let's start at
So-
1 and multiply by 2.
Let's start at 2.
I'm okay with you guys having to write it down, but listen, these aren't hard. These are not hard. So I'm just going to start with the pi. If I put pi in here, that gives me pi over 2, right?
Yes.
So at pi over 2, what is the cosine value? 0. The cosine is 0. 0 times 2 is? So does it equal 2? No, so it's not that one. So it's not C either. So it has to be B or D, right? So if I put pi over 2 in here, 2 pi divided by 2 gives me pi. What is the cosine value at pi? -1. So -1 times 2 gives me, so it had to be D. Huh? Yes. Okay, the graph of the function y equals 2 times the sine of 1/2 x passes through the points whose coordinates are. So, if I put pi in here, that's at pi over 2, which is at 90 degrees. What's the value of sine at 90 degrees at the top of the circle? 1, right? So if I put 1 times 2, so it's A. Okay? Okay, I think that's the last one.
Really? You said that was 30 questions.
There is 30.